ladies and gentlemen, and by the way, the pronoun thing is over. Have you noticed that? It's just done. It's just done. Nobody talks about pronouns anymore. It's just done. Nobody cares a shit about the pronouns. It's done. You're going to tell your kids, you're not going to believe this, but they had people who at the bottom of their emails, they said pronouns, he, him, and they, and her, and yeah. No, they didn't, Grandpa. I swear to God, they had. Grandpa, are you telling me? No, you don't understand. And we wore masks. What? We wore masks, and the masks didn't work. And we were 6 feet apart from each other, and we were crazy. You didn't do this. I'm telling you, we did it. Then we had this thing called non-binary. What's that? I don't know. But they just went away. I don't know where they were. They would sit in their car and talking TikTok, and it's getting better. But today, my friends, was a day from the beginning. I hope you are following. I hope you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. First thing, you would have missed this right off the bat. Iran, the president going down. Well, the plane crashing, the tragedy of there. Then we're talking about the ICJ requested warrants for Israel and Hamas. Julian Assange. I don't even know where to start. So get ready, buckle up, and I'm telling you right now, get ready. And have you noticed how everybody's coming out finally and telling us the truth about during the COVID problem? Do you remember that? Do you remember? I remember there was this fellow we knew who almost died. This is a true story. Almost died. People were saying ADOs. And he needed a doctor, somebody to help him with ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, whatever. And he's fine now. And I can't mention the names and who, but you would know. They had to pull strings. Doctors, rogue doctors who said, let's try this incredibly important palliative care, and he's alive today. What happens if this happens again? What happens? What if you need this medicine coming up and we go through this again? Well, now's the time to act. I couldn't be more serious if I wanted to. Listen to these incredibly powerful words from our most critical sponsor. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, it blows my mind that more people aren't talking about this, that everyone's not talking about this. The fact is that on Thursday, March 21st, the court ruled that the FDA must delete every social media post addressing the use of ivermectin for treatment or prevention of COVID-19. It's been determined that the FDA lied in their demonizing of ivermectin and other effective drugs for the last 4 years, vindicating doctors like Dr. Peter McCullough, who stood strong despite every cancellation campaign. But the question is, okay, how do I get ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, HCQ? Most doctors still won't even consider prescribing it. Remember, there will be a next time. And the wellness company's contagion emergency kit, complete with the McCullough protocol, has you covered. The only one of its kind, this prescription emergency kit provides you with a carefully selected assortment of effective medications for COVID-19 and other respiratory illnesses. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, HCQ, Z-Pak, Tamiflu, and budesonide, along with a nebulizer, so you can rest easy knowing that you have emergency meds on hand, along with a guidebook for safe use. The Wellness Company's Contagion Emergency Kit is a must-have. Go to twc.health/Lionel and grab your Contagion Emergency Kit right now. That's twc.health/Lionel and use code Lionel to save $30 and free shipping at checkout. Kits are only available in the U.S. Okay, my friends, let me ask you a question. Which story do you want to talk about first? Assange, Amal Clooney, by the way, autocorrect She fears Amal, A-M-A-L. Anyway, Trump rests his case today. Harrison Butker still bringing that the rocker wannabe is smashing him. Biden's on Adderall. Trump wants a drug test. ICJ war crimes. ICC arrest warrants. Iran. This congressional cooperation story. The Pope talking complete shite. I don't know what he's talking about. I mentioned this morning, back to dollhouses, kids with cologne. Kevin Costner now is enjoying this rise in popularity. Migrant violence leading to perhaps what they believe could be civil war in Sweden. The benefits of NYPD units coming into how do I say this? Clear up protesters is actually lowering crime, because a lot of people are saying, I didn't know the police could do this. Well, they can. And also, did you see this woman? She was in the emergency aisle of a plane. And you know how they say you're in the emergency aisle, and they say things like, well, you do realize that if there is an emergency, you have to help. And she said, I'm not going to help. Oh, no, I'm not going to, no, I'm going to save me. No, ma'am, you're going to go, oh, no. What is this? What is this? What is going on? This is the most incredible story in the world. Frontier passenger makes the entire plane deboard, or the flight deboard. I love that. After she refused to comply with exit row instructions, she gets arrested. Now, the woman allegedly refused to help save anyone in case of an emergency before yelling at flight staff. Oh, I'm not going to save anybody. If something happens, I'm going to save myself, the woman who filmed the video recalled the passenger saying this. And I have it on my Twitter at Lionel Media. As the situation escalated, the police entered, of course. The entire plane then had to be deboarded while the police officers made the arrest. And footage at the end of the video shows police officers escorting the woman off the plane while all passengers watched. This happened at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. This is that Jasmine Crockett. I'm not going to take this shit. And you could throw an MTG and you could throw an AOC, but this is this mentality. This is what it is. It's not racial. It's cultural. It's a cultural way of it's entitlement. It's social media. It's not racial. You know, I'm going to start off with this. I know this has no particular, but I had to tell you this. We live in New York City, and we're noticing substantial changes in attitude, crime, hospitality, you name it. Seriously. We see Africans, Egyptians, Nigerians, French, Russians, Chinese, Japanese. We see people from all over the world. Okay? There is an African, I don't know what you want to say. It's almost like European. I know this, I'm extremely, when I talk about Africa, I know Africa is a lot. Do you mean Egypt? Do you mean Chad? I know. Libya? I got it. But there is a politeness. There is a class. There is this civilization in any country but here. I am enthralled by just watching the hues, the colors, the sizes, the shapes, the voice, the intonation of people from all over the world. You hear, I'm telling you, I hear Brazilian, French. You can sometimes you'll hear something, the difference between Korean, Chinese, Japanese. If you just hear it, I can get it. I got it. And we see so many Africans. There was a fellow the other day I saw. I don't know where he was from, but it was a. Have you ever seen? Sometimes when there are like if there are marathoners, like the marathon racers, like you'll see differences between, let's say, Nigerian, Africa, East Africa, West Africa, Ethiopian. You see different. You see morphological differences, like the Native American, you see Asian, you see admixtures. And what we see here is number one, this politeness. I'm telling you, it's a culture. And number two, working. New York is, and we'll get to the big news, but I got to tell you this. This has been on my mind because this woman screaming, this idiot. All she's got to do is say, yes, of course, I will help out in the event of an emergency. Yes. She's got the seat. Does she not go on planes? You say, of course, yes, I'll give CPR. I'll do whatever you want. Just let me keep my seat with my extra leg room. But oh no, 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 no. No, she had to pull a Jasmine Crockett. I'm not going to take this shit, in Congress. It's not race. It's not race. It's not skin. It's not it's class. It's culturation. It's no class. It's where you live, how you were bred and brought up, what your values are, what your family taught you, where you live, irrespective of this. And I am so sick and tired of hearing this business about race. It's not race. Stop it. And by the way, there's one thing you're going to find right now. Almost. I promise you, if you have anything delivered, you can have anything delivered in New York. Anything. To your door. You can have a milk. I don't know why people do it. They'll call McDonald's for like a milkshake. They'll come here on a vehicle, and they'll come and they'll right to your door. I guarantee you that person will not be American born. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Now, other one, Whole Foods, Fresh Direct, Amazon, different story. A lot of people work. A lot of people. And you don't really get a demographic of that because we don't come into contact. Oh, excuse me, Whole Foods, great delivery, by the way. It's the best thing in the world. The best. The greatest. Oh my God. I'm going to leave you this subject right now. I'm just going to say, I am so tired of hearing race. No, it's not race. I could take William F. Buckley. Yes. The sesquipedalian with his mid-Atlantic accent, and have him raised next to this woman who screams on an airplane. Have him be raised around that? This I don't know what this world is. He wouldn't be William F. Buckley. I don't care what his pedigree is. I'm going to leave you at that. Okay? Now, let's talk about Iran. Do you think there's anything funny with that president being killed in that accident? Anybody? Anybody? Does anybody? Anybody? You know who had some very good thing on X, some good stuff, others as well. Alex Jones brought some stuff up. There was a fellow who has a website where he saw that all of the weather information all of the weather information and he said, there it is. It was just missing. Why was it missing? Why was it missing? Johnny Maz, ladies and gentlemen, says, Lionel, hang on a minute. Let me try this again. Hang on. Lionel, what's your opinion on the failed coup attempt in Congo by the alleged captured 3 American CIA operatives who had American passports? Well, the first thing I saw was they looked absolutely terrified. They looked beyond terrified. And that was terrible to see, that the look of sheer terror on their face. It was just beyond. It was really something to see that. So I will investigate a little bit more. I am without the ability at this point. But if this was a coup, if this was an attempted coup, they don't do coups like they used to. That's for sure. This one did not look necessarily of the same pay grade or caliber that others have, if that makes any sense to you. So I don't know, my friends. That remains to be seen, as we say. That remains to be seen. Fascinating nonetheless. It was absolutely fascinating. Now, but here's the story. We really don't know anything about, I hate to say it, we don't know anything about the helicopter. Do you see he's flying like an old Bell Huey? Like an old, I mean, I'm sure it's a great piece of machinery, but did you see this kind of old? It's like something from MASH. Did you see that one? Kind of strange. And they said one of the reasons for it, because they couldn't get spare parts. They couldn't get, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but it was weird. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Could it be? I don't know. If the weather looked horrific. It looked like a Kobe Bryant case. So I don't know. But this morning, immediately, the usual suspects, oh, it's a direct energy weapon. I said, would you lay off this direct, what? Yeah, direct energy weapon. Direct energy weapon. Where in the hell are you getting direct energy weapon from? It's a favorite. What is with you people? This is like this. There's this fetish about direct energy weapons, or directed, depending upon where you're from. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. So where are you getting this from? I don't know. It absolutely kills me. Kills me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, where did you get that from? Where did you learn this? Tell me. I don't know. And of course, somebody will say, well, we saw blue light, or we saw light. Always a light. You see, this is why people think we're crazy. Because of stuff like this. Where in the hell are you getting, not you, but I mean, where are you getting direct energy weapons from? What is this? It's the weirdest thing. It's like, remember this? Adrenochrome. Remember that? Everything was like, oh my God. What are you talking about? Oh, I know it. It's like, what do you know about? Oh, you watch. It was the hottest thing around. Remember during Pizzagate? Remember that one? Remember that period? That was a good one. And I kept saying, well, what are you saying exactly? What precisely, what are you saying? I don't understand. Help me with this. What about people? Well, just, this guy had some really weird pictures. Okay. All right. And what about that? Well, I think, we got that FBI. Oops, my God, that FBI, code words, the Argo, or the Argo rather, for this dictionary of words, and therefore that means what? And it was that never it couldn't take me to the next level, to the next area. What does that mean? So I saw it again this morning. I saw some folks. They were immediately the usual suspects. And they love to do this. And here's the best part. They They come out of nowhere with this, and they don't really think anything of it because they think somehow that the validation of what they're saying, it comes in the form of clicks and retweets and numbers, and that makes it worthwhile. That means it must be true because these people would not possibly be involved in believing anything I'm saying or following this unless it was true. So these big numbers mean no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Not in the least. This goes back to my friends. I told you this is my thing. It's to teach you this wonderful thing called critical thinking. Now, next, Bibi and Sinwar both looking at having requests for arrest warrants made against Bibi and Sinwar from Hamas. What do you think about that? Did you get this? Do you have any idea of what this means? Do you have any idea of what this means? Tell me you do. I don't think so. Maybe because you've been watching a lot of that stuff on TV, haven't you? You've been watching that cable news stuff, haven't you? Come on. Yes, you have. You've been watching this cable news stuff. What do you think it means? Prometheus says ICC has no power anymore. Really? What do you think it means? What do you mean no power? Can they be enforced? The OCC means nothing. Really? You think it means nothing? Thank you, Dr. Murph. They're not going to extradite him. Thank you. They're not going to extradite Hamas, Sinwar, or whatever. Do you mean to tell me this doesn't mean anything? Do you really mean to tell me that in this new world reset, new world order, that it means nothing? Do you know what Bibi is furious to be linked with him? Do you know what the statement of this thing is? The message of this, the significance of this, finally, to some people's eyes. Remember when the had the warrant for Putin. Putin couldn't even go to South Africa because they were a signatory, and they're in BRICS. Bibi can't go to certain countries. Bibi, I don't know what the hell's going on. This really screws things up for Hamas because they're in Doha, and what? So Americans are going, it doesn't mean anything. Bullshit! It doesn't mean anything. Are you kidding me? Do you know what countries would? Do you know what it would? First of all, be World War III. Do you know if anybody? Just work me out, would be the first person to arrest Bibi Netanyahu or seize him like they're trying to do with Trump? To say it means nothing? It means nothing at all? Now, is Bibi going to come to the U.S.? Yes. Are we a signatory? No. Signatory. Well, but there's an active warrant on. A warrant? He's in the same category as war criminals? See, I love this attitude of, it doesn't mean anything. What? I mean, nobody's going to break the door. They're not going to send a SWAT team to Tel Aviv to pick him up. But see this arrogance. It doesn't mean anything. Why? Translation, I don't know what it means. I don't know shit. I watch Fox and I don't know. My attitude is what I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's oh God. This is the reshifting of everything. Do you understand what October the 7th did? Bibi says, you're going after me? Wait a minute. What about October 7th? Well, we got Hamas too. We got Sinwar and a number of their other underlings. No. You're doing that just to cover your ass. No, we're not. Yes, you are. You're going after me. All I did was I'm defending my country. We have a right to exist, a right to defend ourselves. And I go after it, and you indict me. And what do you tell me? It's no big deal. No big deal. Oh, God. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. What happens if Iran gets a nuclear weapon? Answer my question. What do you think? What happens if Iran gets a nuclear weapon? Now answer the question, and don't answer it like Fox News. Don't act like Brett Baer or Cavuto or Judge Janine or one of those judge rules. Answer the question. What happens if Iran gets a nuclear weapon? What happens? Look at this. Nothing. Oh my God. Nothing? It means nothing. They'll use it? What do you mean they'll use it? Who's going to use a nuclear weapon? I know you're going to say, oh, there's always some crazy guy and some crazy eschatology. You mean like some weird Bible thumping end of times Armageddon dude? You mean like one of those? No. Well, what are you talking about? What happens? Answer me. Terrifying to even consider. Pauline, why is it? I got one for you. You ready for this? Stability. What? Stability. You've been told always that if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, that's it. Right? Do you see any problem with Indo-Pak nuclear conflict? They've got nuclear weapons. Do you see any nuclear holocaust with those who be? No. What happens, do you think, what happens to a country when you don't have a nuclear weapon? What happens? They shit all over you. You've got nothing. But you do. If you do, it's like one of those things. You just hear, you're a burglar. You hear this. You hear a dog bark. Next door. Wait a minute. How big is the dog? Excuse me. We're not going to argue about the dog. We're going to go to the next door. See, there's this attitude. This is number one. Why is it that we decide who gets a nuclear bomb and who doesn't? Answer that for me. Who gets, seriously? Well, we decide. Who decides? Who decides? Now I'm going to say something to you, and Israel's never, I don't know if they've ever officially said, okay, we got a weapon, Okay, fine, whatever. Let's just assume, okay? Let's just stop this kidding around. Do you think it's a good idea? You think Bibi with a nuclear weapon? Do you? Putin's got more than you can imagine. Let me ask you a question. We'll go in the record. Mearsheimer said it. The stupidest thing that Ukraine ever did was giving up its nuclear weapons. Stupidest thing ever. 93. Other people said, don't do this. Would there be any problem right now in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine and this? Would there be? Might be different because remember what this is about. Ukraine is about NATO. It's not about anything else. What do you think about that? Don't be cliched. If Iran has it, we have a nuclear weapon. Okay, that's enough. I don't think they'd be going to an embassy in Damascus and blowing up basically a sovereign territory of Iran, killing generals or whatever. No. I don't think Soleimani, they love this guy. No way. It wouldn't have happened. Do you think if Gaddafi had a nuclear weapon, would he be 6 feet, under, after he was anally violated with a, no, of course not. The world would be a completely nuclear weapons stabilize the world. They stop it. I know it sounds nuts, right? Because you've been told specifically this way of thinking. You've been told and indoctrinated. You've been told repeatedly, this is what you say. This is what you say. I want you to think for yourself. I want you to reconsider everything there is and do not fall prey to this nonsense where you are some kind of a minor bird, where you repeat the usual tropes and memes and thoughts that everybody else tells you to. You are not Neil Cavuto. You're going to think for yourself. You're not going to be some magpie, some minor bird spewing this trained, this monkey on the end of a leash nonsense and blather. You hear me? And I mean that sincerely. Now, do me a favor. Hang on 1 second, dear friends, because let's talk about something else which is important and critical. Unbelievable. And that's the notion of food. In the event that there is ever a catastrophe, that there is ever a problem involving food, where stores are closed because of martial law or because of weather, or you just can't get to the store, or unrest, or supply chain breakdowns, or ransomware, or trucker strikes, or whatever. Do I have to spell this out? And remember, once there's the slightest bit of fear, they shut everything down because people will go crazy. This country will go apeshit, and you know it. They're not going to sit back and say, well, let's wait till the Costco open. No, they're going to be there banging doors. Look at this lunatic woman sitting in an emergency seat. Imagine 1,000 of those. Imagine with a bunch of people just losing their minds because they have this sense of societal savagery. Whenever there's a breakdown of order, they just love to fight for no reason. So listen carefully. Preparewithlionel.com. This isn't a joke, my friends. Prepare now. Preparewithlionel.com and listen to this. It's no longer a question of if something catastrophic is coming, it's when. And while you still have some control, what are you going to do about it now to prepare? Well, your first step is going to my website, preparewithlionel.com. And for a limited time, take $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you and your family to prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already. These 3-month kits with Ready Hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day with 22 varieties and a 25-year shelf life. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything. And they're sealed inside 6 rugged waterproof buckets, and they're over 120 pounds of food. So take advantage right now and go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. One more time, preparewithlionel.com. I have a dream, many dreams. This is the I told you so. I'm not going to have a gravestone. I hate that. Gravestones are so stupid. Sorry, you can have them. I don't want one. Hey, look, here's his name. And they have, would it be great on a gravestone? F you. Say, well, there's something different. Just anyway. But if I had to do, I think Gore Vidal had it best. His final words would be, I told you so. I told you. How many times have I been telling people, saying, I know what's coming. I know what's happening. I know this. I see what is happening. I understand it. It's not. And one day, my dream is, let me live long enough to hear this. Tattoos are ugly. America now, imagine this story. In a recent survey of dating apps, because people, of course, will not be communicating at all anymore like human beings. There's not going to be any courting. It's going to be all in an app. Imagine this story. Dating apps are more and more saying no tattoos. What? No tattoos. Well, I got a little. No. And there's going to be a special app for people without tattoos. You know, they have Jewish apps and gay apps and conservative apps. And, you know, one day I could see it all of a sudden. And then these doctors open up all over the country, all over the world, these tattoo removals to get rid of these ugly, stupid, hideous, dumb, slave-like dermal real estate markings, this hideous, this ridiculous, like the sleeve that's just blue. Have you seen this? Have you seen the Native Americans that have their face? I don't know what the hell this is about. Why don't you just do yourself a favor? Just have a helmet surgically sutured to your head so you'll have it on at all times. So anyway, that's going to happen because it's stupid. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. You know it, and I know it. In any event. But you're going to see that one day. And you're going to see some other things too. You're going to see more and more people say, you know what? We don't really see the need to have all these trans kids and what? Have you seen the list of people in Hollywood who have kids who are trans male? I forget who was it. I don't know. Was it Sade or somebody's got a kid who was a trans male? Are you sure about that? If this is a woman with a beard and the whole bit, I don't know. But you know and I know, somewhere along the line, somebody who says, come here, all of celebrities, listen, if you're a member of the club, sign this. Can you adopt? Can you get your kids to change? Can you it's better for the shadow government. You were great during COVID. You were great during, the stuff about climate. We love that. Eddie Vedder, when he made fun of our friend. But I digress. I can see it changing. Where all of a sudden one day, nobody's non-binary anymore. What? Yeah, they don't do it anymore. What do you mean? Well, we haven't had any new. It's just back to the way it was. What do you mean? Well, look, we've always had some people who looked kind of masculine or feminine, and it was no big deal. It was no big deal. I was with fairly recently a very nice, was a woman who had a female name and did not, but I swear to God, you know how they say sometimes somebody looks like a man, but they, you can say, well, I can kind of see it. This one, I swear to you, I've never seen, I was in awe. I'm listening to her voice. It was a female voice, but this was a man. And she identifies as a woman. It's no problem. She might have been a lesbian, whatever. That's the way it used to be. They didn't have a name for it. It wasn't non-binary. They didn't have all of a sudden in Hollywood. How many all of a sudden do we have this? What 30% of the offspring of the supposed celebrities are trans or gay or bi? Come on. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody says, listen, you can help your career if you at least have a kid. Really? Yeah. Hey, Toby, what? Listen, you want to help mommy out? Hey, remember when you said you were a girl? What? Remember when you said you thought about being a girl? I don't remember that. Yeah, you did when you were a kid. Oh, okay. Yeah. Listen, I think it'd be great if you were to dress. What? Well, it would help my career if we could say you were trans. But I'm not, please. All right, if I can help. How long do I have to do this? Not really. Do I have to have surgery? No surgery. Just do this for a while. Johnny Maz, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Maz says, hang on. Johnny Maz says, It's alleged that the weather maps over the region of Iran where the helicopter went down have disappeared for May 19th and correct on stability. Well, you know what's funny? That's what, again, if you know this, Johnny, and by the way, thank you, Mr. Maz. Alex mentioned this. Another fellow who has a wonderful website. I forget the name of it. But there it is. And he shows you in real time. You think Jake Tapper's looking at this? No. Do you think any of these people? No. They're too busy with hair and makeup. This guy's doing the hard analysis. Now remember, just because the United States has had a history of overthrow and disruption since the beginning of time does not mean that it happened here. Don't forget Operation Ajax in 53, whatever, with Mossadegh. They love overthrow. They love coups. Look at Maidan. Look at what's happening. This is Newland. These people don't go away. They love this. They probably sit around with old CIA folks and say, remember when we did the Pinochet? Oh, yeah, that's right. Allende, yeah. You don't have any coups. And when we did Maidan, well, that's nothing compared to Operation Ajax with Kermit Roosevelt installing the Shah. And the best part, the Shah didn't even want to do it. The Shah says, no, I'm in Paris. I don't want to go back there. No, you're going to go back. But I don't want to go back. I just want to live. I'm Reza Pahlavi. We're going over the Champs-Elysees. I'm having lunch. I'm doing. I don't want to go back. You're going to go back if you know what's good for you. Okay. Did you ever hear Nixon talk about the Savak, the secret police? Oh my God. Okay. Next, Kevin Costner. Cowboys. They love him at Cannes Film Festival. We're going back to tradition. That's why these people are going to be stuck in Hollywood. Like, I got these tattoos, and now I've got 3 kids who I don't know what they are, but I got to tell them to turn back now. Yeah, we're going to switch back. Back? Yeah, we're going back to more amazing tradition. But they're all transed up, and I can't. Well, you think I'm kidding, right? You think I'm kidding? You think that's an exaggeration? These freaks who used to sit in their talking on their phone with their TikTok, where they were like elf, this and that, and they were munchkins and sprites and fairies and a little pony and unicorns with tattoos. That's over with. And now that they've outed themselves as being a certifiable lunatic, it's over. This is the most incredible thing in the world. This is fantastic. We're going back because, like I've been telling you for the longest time, the pendulum is going to come back and swing back like a wrecking ball. It's not just going to switch. It's going to destroy this. And here's the best part. I want to say this again. This is the part that gets me. Number 1, First Amendment and free speech is dead. Look what they're trying to do in 2 places. Australia and Canada. It's amazing what they're doing. I mean, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's incredible what's happening in Canada and in Australia. Incredible. They want you to rat out neighbors. Okay, fine. So as this world is turning and spinning around, there's this move that says we kind of want to go back to the way things are. Now, in this country, students have been absolutely just bombarded by police and there's been a complete clampdown on academic free speech because they dared to show any kind of a connection to or any kind of an assimilation with or sympathy with Palestinian. Oh, no, we're not going to allow that. No way. That ain't going to happen. No sirree, Bob. That ain't going to happen. Not interested in this. What's fascinating, what's fascinating, totally fascinating, is the idea of the following. You're going to see people around the world who are now going to say, we're going to change. But what has happened was here in New York, when we got to see the benefits, or rather the power of the police, when we got to see the power of the police, what it looks like when they show up in these kind of these MRAPs, and they show up and say, dear God, did you see this? People couldn't believe what they were saying. They could not believe what they were saying. They've never seen police officers like this. They've never seen anything like this. It's absolutely incredible. It's incredible. It's like these people who saw this, I guess this, whatever you want to call it, this world, they didn't understand. They didn't understand that, you know what? We kind of like to see the police. You know what? We kind of like to see this. You know what? We kind of, yeah, not necessarily quashing and destroying the ability to speak on behalf of students, but we'd love to see you do that to prevent, I don't know, crime. And crime has had a bit of a drop because, and the cops loved to be cops again. Dear God. It's the most incredible story there is. The most incredible story there is. You know what you're also going to see less of? Squatting. And you're going to see less swatting. There was a one story, you see this? Police stormed a UFC star Sean O'Malley, the swatting, false swatting. That's going to be passe and over. Let me tell you something, my friends. We're something happened, and this last little kerfuffle in matters that are indictable, as Marjorie Taylor Greene would say, between MTG, AOC, and the Cardi Lash lady, Jasmine Crockett. That showed people that was a moment of embarrassment. And all of a sudden that, in view of these airport lunatics, this mean kind of needless, boorish, savage, crude, angry, obstreperous, contumacious behavior. All of these things, all of them, are making a lot of folks say, you know what? This isn't worth it anymore. This is not worth our time. Now stand by for a second, dear friends, because I'm going to talk to you about some good news. Great news from our dear friend, you know him, love him, our friend Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell's still going strong. Now he's got my coffee. It's the most incredible thing. Here he is, my friends. Our good friend, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Listen carefully. It's time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, listen carefully. Check out their $25 extravaganzas. Premium My Pillows, Queen and King, My Pillow 2.0. My Pillow bed sheets, the lowest price ever. Sandals, slides, slippers, 6-piece towel sets, 4-pack dish towel sets. Simply and absolutely unbelievable. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965 and watch how fast Mike Lindell answers the phone. mypillow.com, simply and absolutely the best. Dear friends, my dear, glorious, wonderful friends. By the way, reminding you of a few things that you should know about, that you should be aware of, which I think is critical. If you don't mind, first and foremost, This is Mrs. L's her YouTube channel. I cannot tell you enough how important it is for you to follow her and to show her the love and the support and the following, because her numbers work as well, to let people know, hey, there's something to this. You better believe there's something to this. There's something very serious to this. And we would appreciate that immensely. And also to our dear friends, to Johnny Maz, Dr. Murph, thank you as well. We have so much going on right now, and please make sure you remain subscribed. Make sure you subscribe. Lionel Nation, check right now. And we've got 3 pieces that are up to date. So much. Did you see where kids are? Colon cancer is up 25% in children. Hear about that one? It's awful. It's everywhere. How about they're finding microplastics in testicles? Now, how they find this, I have no idea. Maybe you shouldn't be using plastic forks and knives. Maybe plastic, microplastics. Do you got it? Who's looking out for you? Nobody. You think Neil Cavuto gives a damn about this? No. He just wants to make sure he pronounces the message, because he's a minor bird. He's a trained poodle. These people, I despise them. But I love you. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because you've got guts. And you love to challenge authority. And that's what you're all about, my friend. And that's what we're all about. So anyway, have a great and a glorious and a delicious night. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for not what you do, but for what you can. Thank you not for what you are, but for what you appear to be, ladies and gentlemen. And until we meet tomorrow at 8 a.m. again with more stuff, I say to you right now, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.